welcome to another episode of Put It Together live stream. I'm Daniel J. Goddess, your host. I want to start by welcoming all our friends on Facebook, LinkedIn. Thank you for being on this. Thank you for watching the show. If you don't mind sharing this on your page so that other folks can watch along with you. For those of you watching us on YouTube, do me a favor, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to let you know every time there's a new show on the air. And we're back for 2024. We did the first episode. I've been traveling a little bit for work. I know every host does this. We apologize for work. I'm not apologizing because I have work. I've just been traveling on the weekends and can't do episodes. But please hit the notification bell on YouTube so that you can get notified whenever there's going to be a new show. Today, I'm pretty excited for my guest. He's coming back for a second time. But before going to that, I want to remind you we have more stuff during the week. If you are following us, you'll know we do our horoscopes on Monday. The Card Devo horoscopes for the week are up actually they're up every Sunday night, but they're ready for you on Monday mornings on whatever social page you're following us. We also have the new series that I started late last year, but it's really kicking off. And thank you so much for everybody who watches them. It's Daniel's Days, and these are national days that we celebrate throughout the year. My goal this year is to do 366 videos, because in case you didn't know, it's a leap year. So one video per day, and you can go check out what day I'm celebrating that day. But those are called Daniel Days, and they're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, Thread, Instagram, and Blue Sky. So you can, if you have not on Blue Sky yet and you're not on Thread, go check me out there. That's pretty much all I post there. But go check those out. Christian and Daniel show. We were off for a couple of weeks just to start the year and refresh ourselves. But we'll be back next week with another episode, and then Put It Together live stream on Saturdays. If you'd like to be a guest, or you know somebody that would be a good guest and has a really cool Put It Together story, send them our way. And whatever page you're watching us, just message us. Let us know that you want to be a guest on the show. Maybe you have a story to tell. And basically, it's where'd you come from? Where are you now? And what's your story? And the idea is to motivate and inspire other people to go after their dreams and goals, which leads us to our guest today. He's somebody that has definitely gone after his dreams and goals. And as I say that, I just deleted his bio. Where did I put his bio? Live TV, folks. That's live TV. Welcome to the world of live television. No, that's not it. Hold on a second. And I was so excited because I had it all ready to go. Here we go. Evan King is an American actor comedian who has been performing in films and TV and stage for over 20 years. Evan is most known for starring in the 2020 Nollywood comedy hit American Driver. Evan has appeared on TV on Great Day Houston and performed in comedy clubs Laff, Stop, and Flappers. In 2018 and 2019, Evan opened up for Paul Wall and Lil Flip and as his 90s character DJ Freakjuice. He has appeared in indie films Copycat, Brotherly Love, and Tempt to Fire. In 2023, he released his comedy music video, DJ Freakjuice, Your Baby's Daddy. You can't say that without smiling. In 2024, he dropped another Freakjuice song, Stuck in the 90s, as well as a podcast based on the character. Later this year, you can see Evan co-starring with Jim Like in the Nollywood action comedy Rent a Room. So with that, let me bring him back to the show. Mr. Evan King. Hey, sir.
Hey, Happy New Year. How you doing, man?
Happy New Year. Good to see you. We were joking before the show started that we got the memo for the T-shirts.
Yes. Everyone has to wear blue on Daniel's show. So, yeah.
I should make that a rule from now on. I'm gonna.
Especially in front of a blue screen. If I had a blue screen, it would be perfect. So.
Right? I should put up a wall behind me right now. But thank you for coming back to the show. I'm honored that you wanted to come back and be tortured for another hour.
I love tortured. You can ask anybody that knows me. I'm a professional masochist, but in a funny way. So,
yeah. So for those of you that always wonder where I met my guest, Evan and I met in 2008 or 2009. 9.
Yeah, 2000. It was January 2009. It's our. Right. I guess you could say it's like our 15th anniversary, man. So happy anniversary.
Yeah, because that was one of the last things that I did in Houston before I moved to California. For those of you, I
Did you
moved.
move because of me? Did I make you move? I'm
I
so
was,
sorry.
yeah, I was like, he didn't give me any lines. I'm out of here. Like, this is Evan King has brought my acting career in Houston to an end, and I'm leaving. No, but yeah, there's still pictures out there. They pop up on my memories every once
Mhm.
in a while. But for those of you who don't know, I moved to California in January of 2009, and one of the last projects that I did was with Evan, which you didn't know me. Now, I can't remember how you found me. I think it was through people, like we got
Yeah.
connected.
Well, I think creative people find each other. We speak the same language, and it was a so that was my first film I was trying to make after college, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and that's how you learn. I made a lot of. It never got finished for many reasons, but we had a clip. That whole segment got finished because we filmed at Anthony Russo's New York Pizzeria, which is a real restaurant chain. He's bringing the New York to the South, and I needed people to play waiters. And what I loved about you was you showed up with a whole backstory with your character and like you weren't just an extra, like you were. I did like this montage with this music, and I was like, man, if I ever get funding, I want him back because there's a story there. Like you played this really competitive waiter or pizza maker, and it was brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. That was one of the earliest acting gigs that I did.
Oh, okay.
So I will give you credit for this. Asking me to be on that and not knowing what I was really going to do, I was like, I need to show up prepared. I need to show up like I'm not just background. I'm not just a busboy. I'm not just a show.
No.
Like this guy has a story to tell.
Yeah,
And
and I can see you can see it. Like that's to me, like that's the best actors, like the before and after life. Like this guy's there's something going on with these three people. They don't like each other. They're competing over whatever the management position. And so yeah, I was fascinated by you, man. I thought you were great.
thank you. Well, we'll eventually work again uh,
I hope
together.
so. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll happen. By the way, one thing I do remember about that day, that pizza was delicious. I got to have pizza after work. That pizza was yummy. So I have to next time I'm back in Houston, we'll have to go grab pizza.
Russo's on West Gray and yeah, yeah, we give them some commercial. So
Good morning, Jesus. Thank you for joining us on the show. Welcome. For everybody watching, remember you can ask questions, make comments, and join us in the conversation. Well, let's get started. Oh, shoot. I just realized we have the wrong background.
oh.
There we go.
Hey. All right.
Welcome to the right show, folks. So, Evan King, tell us, since we last spoke, how do you put it together?
I'm still putting it together. I'm never really together, and I think that's what makes us like thirst for more life and more jobs. Is because if you think you have it all together, that's when everything freezes up. So I'm constantly finding myself spiritually, looking for enlightenment. But since we talked, like professionally, I've created this music video, which thank you so much for watching. And I did another Nollywood film called Rent a Room with Jim Ike. He was in American Driver, and it was his first directing gig. So
Okay.
I got to work with him as a director and a star. So.
And by the way, for everybody watching, we have clips of the videos that we're talking about. We have everything. So stay tuned. We're going to show those in a little bit.
Oh, well, I do have an addition to my life. I'll have to send you a picture. I have a baby now. Her name is Tootsie. She's a fur baby. She's a cat.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
When did this
You saw the video. I might have some phone calls soon. But no, like she's like my daughter, man. She's such a beautiful addition to my life. She's a calico, and she saved me, man. So.
Oh, that's I wanted to. Okay, I'm not going to just glass over that.
Yeah.
How do you mean she saved you?
Well, going through things like when you go through rejection, whether it's a breakup or losing a job or whatever trauma we have, having your core circle of family, kids, brother, sister, mother, or pets, she just saved me. Like she was there spiritually, and she actually loves me. I didn't have to make her love me. She chose that because some animals, it's like chemistry. It just doesn't work. You can find the most beautiful dog in the world, but he might not like you. He might just bark all day. Like rah, 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 it's like it's not going to be a very good relationship. You can tell off the bat. But with her, I don't know, we spoke the same language.
We have before we start. I hope you don't mind. We have the first question on the board for you.
Okay, sure.
Um, What's your thought process when it comes to going on stage for stand-up? Like, do you just go out there and perform? Do you have a routine?
Well, when I first started doing stand up, I didn't know how to do it. I should have probably taken some classes. But then again, I think the best way to learn is to actually do something and go on set. So, like, I'm still learning how to cook, but I'm getting better. I can make pizza nachos. They're amazing. I'll make you some, you know. But when I first started doing stand up, I just came up with like concepts and ideas because I was very sketch based. That's where my heart is really still. And I come from theater, so but you see people do it on TV, like actors and comedians. You think, oh, I can do that, and so you get up there and then you freeze because you hear the silence of the room, and it kind of puts you in a trance. And because you've done stand up, like everything changes when you get up on that stage. So the first 2 years I struggled because I thought I would just get up there and improv, and people were coming to watch me create stuff, and they thought it was interesting, but they didn't always laugh. So when I started writing out jokes, like when you write a song lyric, like I've been writing songs, musicians and comedians are very similar. So if you write the joke almost like a song lyric with a punchline, then it becomes, I don't know, something magical started to happen. It became so much easier. And then if I did improv off of whatever I wrote, I at least had that. Like it felt like there was like a skeleton of something, like there is the actual show, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think one of the secrets is really talk about what you know. Like for instance, you're, if I may say, you're a lot of your comedy is very character based. You have these characters that you've created, but you have to know your character. Kind of like when we're talking right now about going in and doing that work with you. Like I knew who I was, who the character was. He had a story. So then when you start talking, you already have all the answers. You have the story built. As a comedian, I talk about my life. I talk about my relationship, my boyfriend, my health issues, getting older. Talk about what you know, and it just flows when you're trying to. I think this is the secret. And somebody told me this when I took comedy classes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be funny, it won't come out.
No.
But when if you're trying to make your real life, when you just talk about your real life
Yeah.
in real, like you're talking to your friends, we laugh sometimes at each other's miseries because that's what we
Yes.
feel like. We just,
I
so
think, yeah, pain and time are comedy gold. Whether it's heartbreak is the perfect recipe for funny.
yeah. So continuing. So this since the last time you were here, what is there a transformation to Evan King? Has there been an evolution
Yeah.
in how you
Well,
work, what you do?
like how I work or in my personal life or
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, because for artists,
okay.
for us as creative people, as we evolved as people, as humans, our work evolves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like what
Yeah.
we think it's funny, what we think people will like. For instance, my that series for this year, the Daniel's Days, that came out of I was interested in. So here's the thing. I want to celebrate every day. I want to celebrate every day that I wake up. And I thought, what better way to do that than to make a video, which is what I love to do, to
Yeah.
celebrate every day. And then you share it and people are like, I feel that. Like
Well,
I
that's what
want
I've noticed about you. I will answer your question, but before I do, what I love about your social media is you will celebrate every national day. Like yesterday was National Pizza Day, and I
as
wanted pizza so bad, but I knew I had to do this interview, so I try to diet before I do things. I'm like, I can't have it. But like you celebrate life, man. It's like every day can be something to celebrate.
so how is that for you?
Well, for me, yeah. So in my work process, it always changes because you're right. You can't just like still be doing the same thing you were doing in middle school. But at the same time, I don't want to lose that childlike innocence that I had of imagining. Because I think a lot of times with this business, especially with what's been going on recently, like we just went through the SAG strike and everything, and I'm so glad we got a great deal. You can lose the business side takes over, and you can lose that imaginative process. So I have to sometimes the most simplest skill is imagining, and I have to remind myself just imagine what you're looking at, whether it's on stage or the camera, because if you see it, the audience most likely will see it. So, however I grow or my technique changes, like it gets a lot easier to memorize lines. Um, I was challenged on Rent a Room a lot because like, we had just made this like silly comedy, American Driver, with the same people. And Jim Ike first, he didn't, because everything was so rushed, it was an indie film. First day, he takes me aside and says, you're very funny, you're a comic genius, but I do not want you to do anything. No faces, don't be silly. This is a very serious character, go. And so you just have to like process that and keep it inside. And instead of, at first I was like, wait a second, I thought you guys wanted me to do my thing. But no, what I loved about it was he was challenging me to become a different character and to use like a different instrument. So once I let go and let him guide me and whatever his vision was, it was like beautiful.
Yeah. How, and we're going to show the video, the first clip that you sent me in a minute, but
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
how, but because that is very, that first clip is very DJ.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is the essence of your character.
Thank you.
How difficult is it for you when you're in front of an audience that you automatically go into DJ mode? How difficult was it to not bring him up, or did he sneak in to your performance?
Oh, in Rent a Room or like
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
Oh, no, not at all. Like, what the hardest thing was? So yeah, we'll talk about DJ Freakjuice, but to finish Rent a Room story, because they had seen me as Jack from American Driver, that's all they saw because I didn't have like so when I do things like DJ Freakjuice or other characters, I like to disguise myself, grow a goatee, or just like etch a sketch, come up with a new face and a new way of talking. So I at first, when I was playing that character, wanted to just sort of like get a really really short haircut, maybe get some tattoos, but they didn't want that either. So I had to find a way to internalize it. But as far as DJ Freakjuice goes, no, I don't think he ever comes out in anything else I do. Sometimes the accent does, because DJ Freakjuice is a New York DJ, and it's sort of based on my experiences of living in New York for a short while. And it's a whole. Have you ever been to New York?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you been to New York or?
Yes, I love New York. New York is one of my favorite cities.
Oh yeah, man. It's so like that's where he kind of came from, like his dialect, his cadence. He'd be like, absolutely. My name is DJ Freakjuice. Welcome to 90s for Life. He just comes out sometimes. Yeah, I don't know if I'm angry or sad, but I'm going to talk to you like this.
Well, with that, let me set up the first video. This is...
You know my name, the DJ that's insane. I play my own tracks, I'm the fourth animaniac. I wear pump-up shoes, I eat Dunkaroos. They have vitamins. I don't take requests, but I'll sign your chest.
Okay, who do I make it out to?
Christina.
Christina, okay.
Oh, wait. Please add, Domino, you are the greatest cat that ever lived.
Gotcha.
Okay, wait. Also, no kitty will ever replace you, no matter how cute it is.
Aww.
Okay, wait. And we will be reunited in the afterlife.
You want me to write all that on your chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought of it.
That's dope. You're a poet. All right.
If you're a nymphomaniac, this track is an aphrodisiac. My music helps the ladies reproduce. They call me DJ Freakjuice.
Songs make ladies go mad crazy and reproduce. It's time to let your panties loose. It's DJ Freakjuice. You will get pregnant, and you know you won't regret it. Your baby's daddy, you know his name is DJ Freakjuice.
Wow, thank you.
I will admit, the first time I watched it, I was like, hold on.
I love that response, though. Yeah.
And then I watched it again. I'm going to admit, that blonde girl, what's her name?
Oh, so that is Casey Bass. I've worked with her a couple of times. She's also in Rent a Room, and she came in, and we had so much fun doing that. But yeah, she's a professional model, actress, and yeah, she was
Wait,
fun.
he says at the end, I just thought of that.
Thanks, man.
I was she reminded me of like Suzanne Summers, Chrissy, Three's Company.
Yeah, Three's Company.
Yeah. Which I was a huge fan of her work. So, but anyway, for those of you that were not familiar with DJ, there he is. So now you know him. So you were trying to tell us. I know we talked about this in the first episode that we came on, but before we go to the other videos, where does this come from? Why does he appear?
Why did I do this? Okay. Well, I first created Freakjuice in the 90s, literally. I came up with the name. And because I had always been, as much as I love living in the now, obsessed with the past, things that I don't really know about because I was too young or before my time. Retro, right? Like you just mentioned Three's Company, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know what that is, but they might feel like they do if they watch a rerun. So I used to stay up at night watching Nick at Night. I fell in love with shows like Get Smart, Dobie Gillis. I don't know if you know what Dobie Gillis is, but there was this character. You do? Okay, cool.
I had a crush on Dobie Gillis.
Oh man, well, I think he would have loved you too. He's still alive, by the way. That actor's still alive.
Gilligan, I just forgot
Bob
his name.
Denver.
Bob Denver started on Dobie Gillis. Yeah.
So he played Maynard G. Krebs, which was like a beatnik from the 60s.
Yep.
And I wanted to be him so bad. Yeah.
He's what Shaggy would be now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Shaggy took a little from him, a little too much.
Yeah.
He had the goatee, right? So as a kid, I wanted to be Maynard G. Krebs and Gilligan, of course, but they were two different people, honestly. And so I used to take a pen and I would go to school. I was in elementary school and I would draw the same goatee you see on Freakjuice, thinking that I would just show up like, what's up, I'm a beatnik. And the teachers were very worried about my psyche, but I knew it, I was just trying to play a character, it wouldn't rub off. So I'd have my mom was really upset. I'd have this like ink all over my face. I'm like, it's a goatee. But that character like stayed with me. And I loved, looking in the past. So I came up with Freakjuice. And originally in the 90s when I was in high school, it was just going to be this obsession with the 80s. Because I loved things like, I loved hip hop from the 80s, like the Fat Boys. Do you remember Disorderlies, the movie they starred in? Yeah. I don't know if you know who the Fat Boys are, but many people. Yeah. So like they starred in their own movie, which I loved as a kid. I loved Disorderlies. I loved Crush Groove. And I just wanted to bring that stuff back. So I would go to the cafeteria and talk about it with my friend Sal Watkins, who, by the way, does the music for all of Freakjuice. He does the Freakjuice theme. He does the new song we just released, Stuck in the 90s, Your Baby's Daddy. He does the beats.
Cool.
And then it just sort of like, you come up with something over years, it develops. And then I was like, what do I do with this? Like, I like this name, but what is it? And then I was like, he's a DJ. Because what are DJs? DJs are people that create things, and they can go in the past, they can go in the present, the future. And then I wanted to make like a commentary on how a lot of people kind of like are stuck in the past. And so I came up with this fictional disease called retroitis that Freakjuice has. And as more of the episodes will come out, you will see clearly there is a reason he's stuck in the 90s. It's because he can't help it. He wakes up every day and he thinks it's 1990 to 1999. Nice. So I thought about how we live in this culture where, like when I first got the big cell phone, I took it to a restaurant and this is like 2010, and people were obsessed with cell phones back then. We kind of still are. And so there was this arrogance about it. Like you had to have a BlackBerry, you had to have an iPhone. So I pulled out this big 95 Motorola just to see how people would react, like this waitress. And you could see that she no longer was interested in talking to me, even giving me my food. She thought I was poor or something, or I didn't belong there. But I like, what if I just like the underdogs. I like playing underdogs, because what if someone really is like that? They can't help it. Like Freakjuice right now might be upset that the Grammys happened. It's like, Billy Joel was a great artist. He was there, but nobody nominated him. What happened? And who is this Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish? What about me? He doesn't know any better.
But just because I was in my 20s, I turned 20 in 1990. The 90s were such they were at least here in the States, they were a change in the era. We lost some innocence. Yes. We became more digital. so I get it. I get him because I mean I was in my 20s in the 90s. Yeah, I understand him. Like I still have memories of the 90s. I still had clothes from the 90s not long ago. So
Well,
yeah.
do you remember clubbing in the 90s? Because this is like, because I want to explore all aspects of the decade. It's not just one type of, like there was raves. Remember the raves?
Yes. I remember being I lived in two places in the 90s. I lived in Dallas and I lived in South Texas, down in the valley.
Yeah.
So it was two different. If y'all know, you know. If you know, you know. It's two different spaces. It's two different types of life. But
Yes.
and I drank a lot, so I remember part of the 90s. Some of it is just a blur. It's yeah.
The glow
It's
sticks were fun, right? The glow
yeah,
sticks.
it's like a Polaroid that doesn't quite develop, but you know who's in the picture. Those are the 90s for me. Like I remember them kind of that way. But um, what is your vision for the character? Like where would you like him to go?
I don't want him to ever change, but I do think what's interesting about him, as we've done so many videos with him, because I'm a perfectionist, and I like this music video. It freaking took I think over 2 years because I wanted to get it right. Not just the music. Like I first edited the music video itself, and then we got that perfect, and then we put the stuff around it to make it more of like a special. But I'd like to see him. He has a purpose. He's not just there to talk about retro stuff or be like insanely horny, which he's very horny, as you can see. But we've created a villain in the story, and I don't know how much I can say about it right now because you'll start to see more of that. Because we also filmed a TV pilot, which we're still finishing, and I'm going to put out. And I kind of wanted to give him a purpose of trying to save music from being erased.
Ooh.
There is a certain billionaire out there, a certain executive recently, and you may know about this because we can talk a little bit about what's going on in the news, that has deleted an entire movie after they made it. And there's this other movie they made that's in jeopardy of being erased. And I thought, what if there was this villain that took all this art and music and just erased it and replaced it with his own bad music? And that's, as we continue the character, Freakjuice has a purpose. He's not just there to, I love making fun of people with big egos. He's delusional. But at the same time, there is a purpose for him, which is to preserve vinyl, cassettes, CDs. Because what if, as beautiful as the internet is, what if we put it on this box and it just disappeared one day?
I'm sensing a lot of in everything that you do, a lot of holding on to memories, a lot of holding
Yeah.
on to a part of your life. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I would say that I am similar to the character because I do really love the 80s and 90s. So it was like happy time, in the world, I think in pop culture especially. But I do also pay attention to the moment. I'm trying to live more in the moment now because there are beautiful things about today. Today is beautiful. We're here, we're talking. We don't want to let that go away. But I guess that comes from, I don't know. I guess that's something else I have to put together,
Because it's I consider myself a clown sometimes in the work that I do, and you have to be. But as comics, it's said, and I agree, that our best jokes come from our worst pain.
Yes.
Is that true?
100%. I put a lot of what I've gone through, even in DJ Freakjuice, because that to me is therapy. It's cathartic. But I don't do it in a way where it's like reality television where I'm going to use people's real names or, talk
Right.
about talk dirt, I feel like there's a reason these things happen to us. We lose a loved one, we get our heart broken, we get hurt physically. If we can use it and make art and make people laugh or make them think or tell a story, I like telling stories, So I try to use it as paint, if that makes sense. Maybe as like a weapon, like this horrible thing happened, but I'm going to turn it into a joke.
Got it. Well, let's show your second clip. Can you set that up for us?
Yeah, so as I said, we tried to make the music video almost like a special. So really quickly, do you remember the Michael Jackson music videos back in the day? They were kind of long.
Of course.
like Remember the Time, and there was the Moonwalker. They were like movies, right? So I was always inspired by that. Like, why does a music video always have to just be the music video? What if it was like what if you were telling a story? And so originally, and I'm so glad my friends talked me out of this. You were going to have a 20-minute intro before the video started. It was going to be like you're watching a movie. And then I was like, no, because we filmed so much footage. Like, there's more of Casey Bass, who you just saw. There's so much more of Rochelle Gomez, who plays Judy Ring, by the way. She's the voice you heard, and she's brilliant. And then I was like, as I started putting it together, I thought, okay, the beginning is the therapist office. It's going to start in the therapist office. And then we're going to show cutaways, and then we're going to start the video. Because really, like, it just organically happened the way you saw it. So what we're about to see is a cutaway gag where Freakjuice feels he's in the therapist's office talking to Sabrina Favoriti, who plays the therapist. She's amazing. And he's talking about how nobody recognizes him because he doesn't understand that he's a one-hit wonder. He still thinks he's still hot because he's like, this should be 1994. I'm the hottest thing out there. You know, he doesn't get it. So he runs into a random woman, and he basically does everything he can to stay relevant with, you know, what you
Gotcha.
want.
All right, so this is what we're gonna watch, folks.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Did you drop this? Is this your necklace?
Yes, it is mine.
Hey.
It must have fallen or something. Thank you.
There you go. You're welcome.
Wait, who are you?
Look, honey, I would stay and give you an autograph, but I'm actually late because I have to DJ a reunion for the TV show Mad About You. It makes no sense. The show is still on the air, right? Anyways.
Autograph? No,
Okay, you know what? You're so fly. I'm gonna do an autograph for you for $45 or $45 worth of Pogs. Your choice.
What are Pogs?
Pogs, you have some?
I don't want an autograph.
I know what you want. You want the phone. You kids in the phone. Okay. Brought my cell phone for this occasion. Let me get a good signal. There we go. All right, make a pose. All right, lovely. So if you give me your number, I'll send it to you for $80.
$80? No. Look, I don't want a photo or autograph. I don't even know who the hell you are.
You know me. Just quit playing. Really? Come on.
No, I don't. Thank you for picking up my necklace, but I have to go.
No. It's me. Come on. I won MTV's Sexiest DJ of the Year. I taught Cindy Crawford how to act. You should be thanking me for that.
I think I've seen you before. Are you Ice Ice Baby?
No, that's not even his name.
Are you a member of UB40?
Hell no.
Chumbawamba.
What the fuck? No, it's me, DJ Freakjuice. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck you are. I have to go.
Jumbo.
So much love there. Yeah.
I have to admit, some of the references that you throw into the videos are pretty. You can't say Jumbo Wumbo without cracking up. But anyway, tell us about the actress and who she is.
Oh, so that was that was a real woman. We just went up to her and said, "Hey, no, that was Latoria Davis. She's amazing. I've worked with her many times. You're going to see more of her in the show." And yeah, she was great in that. I loved her delivery. So you could really feel, what she was saying.
I'm still kind of interested because I feel like the first time that you came on the show, we started to talk a little bit more about like your connection and being the artist and putting out your stuff. And for those of you that haven't watched the first episode, kind of remind us a little bit, where does the acting bug come from, and how did you get into entertainment?
Well, yeah, back in the 80s, I was, like most people, I was obsessed with like movies, and I was copying a lot of what I was watching. Like I'd watch the entire movie of Ghostbusters and recite it. And my parents thought it was cute, but then I kept doing it and they got annoyed. But then they thought, well, what if he's an actor? And so they took me to classes in '88 with Gary Chason. I don't know, did you know Gary Chason?
I don't think so.
Okay, he was here locally. You might have just missed him when you left Houston, Texas, because he was in Austin for a while. Well, he was in Hollywood. Like he worked on movies in the '70s. Like he worked on Paper Moon. People like Peter Bogdanovich, and he knew the director of Exorcist. I forgot his name, slips my mind. But yeah, he worked in the industry. Then he came back and he started teaching kids how to act. And I took his class, and we connected. I really loved I loved the idea of just what I did every day in my room, imagining and doing it in front of people. And then, you know, he wanted me to audition for some things, and it's a different life to be a kid actor, you know, as we know. And my mom was not a stage mom, but she gave me a choice. Like, do you want to go to public school, or do you want to do this industry thing? And I didn't know any better, so I said public school, you know. And I took a big break, but kept doing plays and stuff with my friends, and then about 2003, I started doing it professionally. You know, went to the stage, started doing stand up, more plays, and then started working on film about around the time I met you. You know, I started working with, you know, doing bit parts and extra roles, and like I remember, you know, we've all done extra work, which by the way, it's the best way to learn how to act is by being on a real film set. Learn how to like behave yourself, like all the technical stuff, and like Tracy Spiridakos was the star of this show called Revolution, and she was very generous because I was sat next to her, and she like she helped me like learn how to like look when the camera's on you, like where your eyes should look. She didn't have to do that, but you know, she was very generous. And then I would say that stand up does connect with everything, because I did stand up. They put me in a music video, which was from the guy who made American Driver. Worked with him, and they put me in that movie, so it's all connected. So
Gotcha. So, for people out here, because I'm here in California, but not that we can go back and change anything, obviously. But what were the lessons that you learned about the entertainment business that you still use now? Something you learned as a kid that you were
oh,
like,
as a kid, oh yeah, from when I was 6 years old. Yeah, the technique of it, you know, like to treat the camera like an audience, you know, because when you get in that room, there's so many cables and wires and people and egos. So you're like, where? Because the stage, there's an audience. Like I love live people. You probably feel this too, because I know you've done stand up and you speak, and there's nothing like a real audience. But I would say, like, if you sort of like once again imagine that whatever that camera's going to get that's the show. And we forget that sometimes, because we walk in and we see the camera, and we forget that's the stage. So.
yeah. Uh, I should have read this. I don't have my notepad. For some reason, I didn't get my notepad today.
Oh,
But
hey.
I know that one moment where you're like, damn, I wanted to ask this question. It'll come to me in a minute. But
Yeah.
Because as an adult, I started acting as an adult. I danced when I was a kid. For those of you out there, I've always, just like Evan, I've been in front of us on a stage since I was like 6 years old.
Oh,
But
you were a dancer? What type
I
of
was a
dancer?
dancer. I was a dancer as a kid. And so I danced all the way from kindergarten to high school, pretty much nonstop. So I was always used to being in front of people. And these are, if anybody dances, I need dancers out there. There's no room for mistakes. There is no opportunity for mistakes, especially if you're in a group of people and you're dancing with the group, choreography. You can't make a mistake. You have to be on spot. And that translated to me when I started acting. I thought you can't make a mistake. You have to, which is good, But the negative side of that is that when you're playing with a group of actors who know the craft and know that somebody's going to say the wrong word or not going to deliver the line exactly, that you need to improv and detour, like, where are we going with this, and change it.
Make it real, like go with the mistakes. If a mistake,
Yeah, which is something that like creates that reality on screen.
Yeah.
A lot of folks don't know that a lot of TV shows sometimes somebody throws a different word and the scene just kind of shifts, and the director can look at that and go, "Ooh, that was better than was on paper. Let's stay with that." With all that story in mind, how much of your performance, how much of your character is, because you talked about being a perfectionist, how much is it exactly as written, and how much of you is just coming from your heart, coming from your
Okay. Yeah. I love
long
improv.
question, right? We went in all directions to get there.
No, I still want to know about your dancing, man. Was it hip hop? Was it flamenco? Was it?
Oh, we'll come back to that one.
All right, we'll come back to that. Yeah, dance contest. Well, yeah, I love improv, man, because like there's nothing better than the imagination. I would say that like even with DJ Freakjuice, even though I write it, sometimes if something doesn't work that I wrote, I tell people to come up with another word. I like in the moment, you know, like, but sometimes it does become like music. Like, if I'm working with people, I've worked with two different directors. I've worked with one director that said, say whatever you want if it doesn't feel natural, which I do love. I've worked with directors that then have put a teleprompter in front of me and wanted me to say everything on that teleprompter, word for word, beat for beat. And I don't like teleprompter acting. I just don't. I know how to do it. I would prefer not looking at something. But yeah, it's pretty much whatever the project needs because it changes whoever is in charge of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And for those of you out there, like, for instance, Saturday Night Live is a cue card
Yes.
show.
Yes.
Saturday Night Live has people on the sides with the dialogue written that the actors are reading.
And you can't change it. You can't change it.
Yeah, you can't change it. Although there are, like, Melissa McCarthy is notorious for improving her scenes, which she's awesome. I mean, talk about
That's
it.
amazing.
We're at the 40-minute mark, by the way. I missed the 30-minute mark, but we're 20 minutes till the end. If anybody out there watching, if you have any questions for Evan King, please let them know. We have one more video to show before the end of the show. And,
Oh, cool.
It's the trailer to the new movie coming out, so we'll show that in just a minute. Where does Evan King want to go? What is your goal as an entertainer?
I want to basically, I love making people smile. And if I can do that with comedy or with drama, like I would love to work all around the world, like I would love to work in different countries and just keep telling stories until the day that I leave this earth. I don't really see myself doing anything else, but I know we all have to live in reality a lot of times and we have responsibilities, but I never want to lose that fun, So I would just say I want to keep challenging myself as an actor. Like I said earlier, like if you think you know everything, that's when you become stale. So I want to continue to learn because I feel like the purpose of, like, the meaning of life, I don't know what it is, but it must be to continue to learn things while we're here. Because if you knew everything, then, it can get really boring. So I guess to continue to grow.
So you talk about making people smile. What makes Evan King smile?
Oh, well, I guess peace, like inner peace, music. My cat is like a sanctuary, But yeah, like, I don't know, like just like laughter. I miss laughter, and I'm so glad that comedies are making more money now in theaters. Like people are starting to go to comedies again. Because it was really a weird time the last 5 years. Like there was no comedy in a theater. Did you notice that? Like there was no, because when you watch it with an audience, watching a comedy with an audience is like a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
To have all those people laugh. Like I remember watching There's Something About Mary with an audience, or, like even See No Evil, Hear No Evil with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Like there's just something about connecting with people through laughter.
There is something very, going to go see something funny on screen and having the person next to you that you don't know look at each other and it's like, did you get that? Did you get that? And I think I congratulate you because we're still coming out of the lockdown. We're still shaking off the last 4 years.
The trauma of it's still there, yeah.
Of being isolated, and you're bringing that funny back into people's screens. And I mean, among other people that I know that I've had on the show, like y'all do that. You make the effort to make people laugh, and the great thing about comedy is that there's such a range of it. There's from like this, like the mental funny to the visual funny, to the
That's like ice cream flavors, right? Like when you go to like an ice cream shop, there's like Jamocha, there's almond, there's like vanilla, and that's strawberry. That's okay if somebody doesn't want Jamocha or strawberry. And that's why comedy is subjective, I think. I mean, I love all forms of comedy. I love satire the most, but I see what you're saying. Like it's a different there's physical comedy, there's intellectual, there's
So this new film, Rent a Room.
Yeah, Rent a Room. This film did screen in Dallas and Houston. There was a screening, and I went to both of those, and also in Maine. It's directed by Jim Ike. It comes out later this year, hopefully on Amazon or Netflix, from what I've been told by the producer. It should be like late summer, fall, just in time for award season. No, I don't know, but it's they're gonna have fun when it comes out, and it was so cool watching that with an audience. The Dallas screening was like it was amazing on both screenings, but it's about
Life
love.
has many ways of
Sorry, I was supposed to say
No.
right?
Hmm?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna set it up real quick. Yeah. So Jim Mike plays a guy who's trying to please his wife, and who's played by Innie Edo, beautiful actress. And so he decides to turn his house into a Airbnb,
Oh.
which is probably a bad idea because all these crazy characters come into his life. I play one of the crazy characters. I play a Bitcoin thief who is staying there running from the people he stole the money from. And I contribute to causing him stress while I live there. And I may or may not be British in the film. You have to watch.
All right, folks. Well, this is a little teaser trailer for y'all to check out.
Okay, cool.
Life has many ways of testing a person's will, either by having nothing happen at all or by having everything happen at once. This is literally the summary of my life at the moment.
Who's that?
Damn.
Tell me what I want to know.
This is not my home.
White folks do at night.
Oh, good. Okay. There's nowhere in the world you're going to see a room with 3 French doors.
Excuse me, French doors? Don't you mean trap doors? That's what they are.
Teaching up for
This may just be the most delicious sandwich I've tasted in my whole life.
Okay. Oh my God. Look at that ass. It's a minute I'm going to tap some ass. Did you just show your body to my wife? Ben! What is going on?
I'm sensing some evil spirit coming right there.
Get off of me!
I need to find a pinche rato. He stole something from me.
Look, man, I don't have to. Open the man up. Let's make some money. I'm telling you.
What? Auntie? Who's your auntie? Why?
That's my mother's favorite bag.
What are you yelling for? I'm right here.
Can you help me? It's a sexy body. You like it, right? She likes it.
All right, well, I'm going to check it out.
Forget about it.
Wow, that's a little bit of everything all rolled into one.
Yeah, you get your money's worth. Action, comedy, suspense, romance. Yeah.
Well, it did not go by me seeing the Whataburger.
Yeah.
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 Tell me you're a Texan without telling me you're a Texan. The first thing I noticed was like, that's a Whataburger cup, which now I'm craving a Whataburger right now as we're talking. Well, we're about 10 minutes out. This is the top part of the show where we ask our guests to share a little bit of words of wisdom with our audience. So, Evan King, what's your words of wisdom for the audience watching?
Words of wisdom is forgiveness. I think we would all be happier if we learned who to forgive and how to forgive, especially ourselves.
Wow. Wow. Cool.
Because the internet is a beautiful thing. Cat videos, but we've all bottled up a lot of energy, and I think it keeps us from forgiving things. And some things aren't forgivable, but then again, what is forgivable? So I think if we go towards letting go of some of the energy that we're carrying, like baggage, then we can start to really live in the new roaring 20s, whatever it's going to be. So
that was deeper than I was expecting to go, but everybody out there, that's a good Saturday morning, like wherever you are, more afternoon, like moment, like what as a transpersonal coach, I leave y'all with that. Like, for pick one thing in your life that you can't change, you can't fix it. There's
Right.
no, it's done, and let it go. Forgive yourself for it. Oh, I just got chills, and let it go. So,
Oh, cool.
wow, that's so okay. I'm gonna have to process that one, man. Like, you just left me thinking there. Okay, for those of you who want to follow Evan, here is his link tree. Go check him out, Evan King Show, for more information. And in fact, we have. Let me bring up the website so Evan can walk us through it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So here's your website.
Oh, yeah, because everybody's using link trees now. I guess regular websites are dying, but
What can folks
yeah.
find when they come to check you out?
Yeah, links to the music video. I just released a new song as DJ Freakjuice with Rochelle Gomez as Judy Rain called "Stuck in the '90s." It's now on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and you can find that. And we're going to do a music video hopefully for that later in the year. You can find there's a link to watch American Driver, a link to DJ Freakjuice's World, and I guess now that you said that you were a dancer, I'm gonna have to make dancing videos so we can have a dance.
We'll talk about that before we go. But by the way, folks, American Driver, go check it out. It's a really cute movie.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, we might hopefully there's talk with the producer. I can say this much. Maybe later in the year we might make a sequel or something similar.
Nice. Well, let them know if they need a little Mexican in there. I just realized you have our first interview there.
Yeah. This was a sequel, so this was a cool sequel that we just did.
Go check him out.
And I have to give a shout out to my friend Johnny Duwan. He's like he's in all the things that I do. He's a great actor. He plays Freakjuice's manager. He wasn't in the clips that you saw, but I know you saw the music video, so you know how it ends with him. And I don't want to give away the ending to Your Baby's Daddy, but we just follow that formula where the whole purpose of that was to make fun of baby making music, where people listen to it, they get pregnant, and we follow that rule. But Johnny was amazing. So
Awesome. And here his Instagram. Go follow him on there. He posts a lot of things on Instagram, so go check him out on the Instagram. Dude, we still have a couple of minutes, but yes. So for those of you, if you were following the conversation, I started dancing. Yeah. My very first dance was in kindergarten. This is an Obadiah Night grade school in Dallas, Texas. They walked in and they were looking for volunteers to dance. And this should have been the sign for my parents of worlds to come. The moment they said, we want volunteers, I was like, so little 6-year-old Daniel was like, right here. And they're like, you don't even know what we're doing. I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing it. Like, let's do this. And so we were doing, we're dancing La Cucaracha for the Cinco de Mayo pageant. Because every year the school had a pageant for everything, right? And this is back in 1976 and 76, 77. So my very, very first dance was dancing La Cucaracha at Obadiah Night grade school in Dallas, Texas. I was hooked. I was hooked with the choreography. I was hooked with the costumes and the wardrobe and being on stage. That was it. So every time they had a dance, they would come to me like, do you want to be in it? I was like, sure. So I danced everything from folklorico to square dancing. I did square dancing in the 4th grade. And then in junior high in Mexico, I was part of an official group in school. Then in high school, I danced modern with the high school group. So yeah, I danced a lot. Let me tell you, it showed discipline. It taught me discipline. It taught me how to work with people. It taught me how to be diplomatic sometimes, and how to leave my ego at the door, and be part of a group. And I think it carried. That's what I was asking earlier in the show. Like, it carried to today. I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I'm okay on stage. Transitioning from public speaker to comedian was a very easy transition, except for the joke part, because I know my for those of you, it's a muscle. It's a muscle that needs practice.
Yes.
And I've been working that entertainment muscle since I was a kid. So I connect with you on that. Like, it's just natural. When people say, can you create this? Yeah. Have you ever done it? which is why my motto in life is, if you think I can do it, I know I can do it. Because people see in us a lot more than we do ourselves.
Yes.
And most of the things that I've done in my life as an adult have been because somebody said, hey, we have this project. You want to be part of it? It's like, sure. Have you ever done it? No. And they look at you and I'm like, well, I convinced you that I can. So obviously there's part of me that can do it. So let's try it. And knock on wood, there's been some very successful things in my life. And there's many, many more projects that have not surfaced, that people have not seen. And like there's
That's what I'm
videos.
saying. The journey's not over, man. That's what I'm saying. If you complete the journey too early, like in your 20s or 30s, it's like, what else is there? You get bored, and that's when you start taking over movie studios and deleting movies. I'm not talking about anybody personal, but we know who that is, don't we?
Yeah.
You know
And
him.
I totally agree with you. There's an inner power, there's an inner need. It's a need to do more. And my goal in life is to take over the world. I want to be a house.
Oh, but you would be a nice dictator, right? If you were a dictator.
I
Okay. The friendly dictator. Okay, you're gonna worship me, but Friday night is dance night, pizza night, you know.
But I might be in Houston later this year, so
Hey,
let's coordinate. Maybe I can come out earlier and we'll work on something together.
I'd love for you to come on, because we're also starting a podcast about Freakjuice's life, where it's very character based, where it's going to be sort of like a story where he's interviewing people or talking. It's like he thinks it's a radio show because he's stuck in the 90s, and I would love for you to come on that show. We could have some fun.
I am so there. I love you, man. I'm so glad that and honored that you want to come back on the show and show us your work. It's Put It Together is your home. Whenever you want to come back, please let us know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any last messages before I send you back to the green room?
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to give a shout out to Rochelle Gomez. She wanted to be here today, but she's still healing and she's doing a lot better. Rochelle, we love you. And if you want to hear some of her music, she's also working with a band right now. And I guess I can give a shout out to my friend Sal, who did the music. He's like my brother. I've known him since the 90s. And, next time I come on, man, we're having a dance off. It's settled. So.
It is on. And Michelle, when you are ready.
Oh, Rochelle.
Rochelle, when you're ready, the door's open. Shout out, let me know, and we'll do a show without Evan, just you, so that.
Yeah, just push me out. Yeah. She
whenever you're ready,
that, by the way. She would love that.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, just get in touch and we'll talk to you and see how you put it together. So I'm gonna put you in the green room for a minute while I say goodbye to everybody. But thank you, man, so much for being on the show. I do love you, and I'm so proud of you.
I love you too, man. I'm so glad you're. And once again, thank you so much for being so nice to me last time I was there. Laguna Beach is amazing. I love California. So
that's right. You were in my house. That's right. I forgot.
I was, man. I saw your studio. So.
Dang, now you know where I live. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I forgot. It's been a while, but don't worry. So.
All right. I'm gonna put you in the green room, and I'll be back for you in just a second. For everybody else watching, thank you so much. Before we go, I want to remind you that there are, something's got to pay the bills. If you are interested still, we've got the Grumpy Bunny and the Colors games, both in English and Spanish. If you're in the Southern California area, you can find them at the Awakenings bookstores or the Village Well bookstores in Southern California, Orange County and Culver City. Or you can email me, find me at littlemexicanproductions.com/Grumpy Bunny. Order yours. $25 is signed and delivered. If you let me know who to sign it to, I will autograph it for you. If you're looking for a transpersonal coach, send me an email at danielggarza@littlemexicanproductions.com. We do one-on-ones, groups, team building workshops. If you want to identify, acknowledge, and remove barriers in your life, try the alignment. Christian has his own business going on too. So if you're looking for spiritual coaching and mediumship consultations, also one-on-ones, groups, in person, and virtual, email him at cpramir@att.net. Keep forgetting to put the net there. It's att.net. For more information, please reach out to him. And we don't want to forget about our friend Richard Wayne Kilgo. You can find him at 949-457-0797. And he's actually starting a new project. And I didn't get the I didn't get the flyer for that, but here, let me share this screen really quick. He is starting his own trainings, Ascension Tech Institute. So go check it out at ascensiontech.org for more information. They've got a training coming up on February 24th, I believe. So go check them out, find out more information. I don't have the official flyer and I don't want to promote it wrong, but check them out. Go check them out. And then finally, for those of you in the Southern California area, especially in LA, I'm back at the Betcheva Comedy Show. This will be my 4th year on stage with them. I've got there's some friends coming up. I want to thank Cameron Weir, who is the center square. He is the founder of the event. He hosts the event. A couple of my friends are going to be there. Pritesh Shah, who is the top square. A good friend of mine. He's been on the show too, so you guys might recognize him from a couple of interviews. But Cameron Weir is the host, and it's here on Venice. There's free valet, which is awesome, and the tickets are only $20. Donation $20. Plus, they sell the best challah bread, which is amazing. So, if you want more information on that, get in touch. Other than that, thank you so much for being on the show, for watching the show. Blah 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 blah. Thank you, Evan King, for coming on the show. And I'm Daniel G. Garza saying, hey, put it together. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.